I've always heard the advice that you should start working on your business and start getting clients before you quit your full-time job. That is super hard to do and really, really impractical if you are already living a busy life and you're already really busy in your current day job. Start running your business before you quit. And this is a section where I am going to read a lot, so we're going to hope that there's a lot of B-roll available. Get your business set up. Get your ISBN number, which in the United States is like a social security number for businesses. Decide how you want to structure your company. Do you want to be a corporation or an LLC? I am not an attorney, so I cannot give advice here, but I did hear someone say that when you set up your company, you need to think about the company that you want to be in the future, not the company that you are today. Right now, you may not be able to envision having employees, but this may be something that you will have in the future. It's a good idea to think about this before you get started, especially in the setup phase. Once you have your ISBN number, you can set up a separate business bank account and a separate business credit card. This is going to be important because you really do want to have separation in between business and personal when it comes time to pay taxes. Expect to pay these taxes differently and more often. Figure out how you're going to bill your client. I talked to several other people in my industry and I learned that pre-billing is actually very common in the paid search industry. I mean, it comes down to this. I can't exactly go and repossess the work that I've done after a coaching session or an audit. I also don't have time to chase for money. Speaking of billing, you're going to want to figure out how much you're going to charge and how you're going to structure your services. Are you going to be hourly, or are you going to set your services up in terms of packages? In paid search, retainers and packages are great for clients, and this comes down to the fact that the work tends to ebb and flow. You want to have multiple statements of work for each package or process that you do. It's really important to define what is in scope and what's out of scope. If you do not define this, you can easily find yourself building someone's website and their campaign. Trust me, I've been there. Not a fun thing because I am not a web developer. A strong statement of work and a strong billing process is going to help set the foundation of your contract. Contracts are very important in the paid search industry because you want to talk about what you are responsible for and what you're not, and you want to do it in a legally binding way. Think of everything. A few specific examples that have to do with paid search are your working hours, how to get a hold of you in an emergency. There is no ad emergency. What constitutes an actual emergency? And you need to outline what you're responsible for, what you're not responsible for, as well as platform fees being billed separately. Are you going to be responsible for their entire Google or Bing bill? No. Hard no. What happens when a client doesn't keep their credit card updated in Google and Bing and everything has to be paused and you have to chase to get that payment? Is that a good lawyer is like a child afraid of the dark. They're thinking of every single possibility of what could happen and they're building in coverage for that into the contract. Branding. You can also start by working on your website. And working on your website, you're going to want to look at your brand, your imagery, and your fonts. Are you going to choose a specific color palette? Despite the fact that we're paid search professionals, we need to learn that we are also marketers. At a root level, we want to be conscious of this fact that we are still in the marketing industry. So try to have a cohesive look and make the time or the financial investment to have a strong branding process. Your website should look like your blog, should look like your PowerPoint presentations. It's all going to be important and it's going to help you look more professional and cohesive and build that brand. Presentations and decks. The really good news is you're going to do a lot less of these when you go out on your own. Something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Do like I say, not as I do. I literally have to read this. Client processes. When a lead comes in, you're gonna have a discovery call. What is the next step going to be? What email are you gonna send to the client? When you don't hear back, what does this process look like for keeping in touch with your leads? I absolutely found that clients will have a discovery call and then come back in 6 months and decide to work with me. So how are you going to nurture your leads through that process? What about your onboarding process? Again, these steps are important to outline because when a client comes on, they're going to be really excited to work with you and you want to make sure that you shepherd them through the process seamlessly. When clients first come on, they're full of excitement, they're ready to get started, and you want to have the documents explaining to them how to grant permissions into the MCC, how to pay, when to pay, how much to pay, and what the communication cadence looks like from day to day. I've also found that if the more you standardize processes before you start your business, the more your business will run smoothly and you can spend time on the things that matter for your business, not building a process while you're managing a client. Here's the thing, when you start your own business, you are the account manager, you're the doer, you're the owner, you're the visionary. You have to play all the single roles. My foot is asleep right now. Start generating leads and sales. Prospecting, sales, and lead generation. When you first start out and you left your job, your brain is going to be only thinking about landing your first client. You're going to be obsessed with that. And you cannot spend all your time looking for clients. You're gonna need to spend time working on your business. You can write cold email templates that can be sent to start generating meetings and sales discovery. You can start thinking about how you're gonna get people to sign up for your email list. You can start thinking about your content and the networking events that you're gonna attend to build your business. Look at how much time you're going to spend in each category between networking, cold calling, sending emails, in-person events, and content that is going to help bring your client to you. Writing blogs, recording videos, short form content. You're going to need to do everything possible to build your brand. Now, hopefully, if you're starting out, you already have somewhat of an established brand, but you're gonna wanna continue to build that as you grow and as your business develops. That's really, really important. I know that this sounds like a lot, but everything that I've listed can be done in the morning or before work or after work. I actually have found that working on my business is one of the most self-soothing things that I can do because it helps me to establish something to fall back onto if and when I leave my full-time job, and it allows me to be in control of when I'm ready to make that decision. That way, I'm going towards something and not running away from something when I do stop working at my full-time job. Building something on the side has made me feel empowered. I know that no matter what happens, I'm setting myself up to leave for something great. I think this is a really important distinction. Mindset and time to dream is important when you're building a business. You are the visionary. This is me editing right now, and I was looking at the last part that I was going over, and I realized that I was a little bit unclear about who I was talking to. I kept saying she, and what I really meant to say was that my best friend gave me this advice, but I felt it was important to leave that section in because it's good advice. The question that she asked me is, what does your day-to-day look like? I started reciting my packages and she said, no. What does your day-to-day look like? You're gonna wake up and then what? You're going to have a week that looks like what? And I said, I need a break. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And she advised me to look at the day-to-day because what can easily happen, and I mentioned this before, is you can go into desperation mode of just trying to find clients and not think about all the things that are gonna happen once you land that client. You should build free time into your business. You are no longer an employee. You are no longer set by someone else's schedule. You are responsible for everything. And if you do not build that free time into your business, you're going to burn out. Using this advice, I sat down and I created a daily calendar for myself. Now, once I get in, am I actually going to follow that calendar? I don't know, but at least there's a plan and I'm not just willy-nilly working on what I want to, which is maybe recording YouTube videos all day because I really don't want to cold call. You need to make sure that you build in the time to do what you need to do to build your business. I have a few speaking gigs lined up, so I need to spend my time writing those presentations, getting ready for those speaking gigs, and then teaching. I'm gonna get into this at a later point in time, and this may be a whole entire video, in-person networking events. And to be honest, I built a schedule around a 4 to 6 hour work week because a big part of why I decided to leave is because I need a better work-life balance. I also built in time for taking classes. I took a lot of classes before I launched my business, and I still take classes, and I still want to build the time in for learning. Before I wrap this up, the best tip, I saved it for last. You might be wondering who I am. I'm Sarah. I'm a paid search manager. I created this channel to talk about all things freelance, but I really wanted to dive deep into the freelance business for a paid search manager, because there are nuances in our industry that are different from all the other freelancers that we see on the internet. Oh yeah, I'm also working on a free course to help you get started. If you want to be one of the first people to be notified when the course goes live, then click the link in the description. You can sign up. If you're not ready for that type of relationship where you sign up for my email list, that's fine. You can just follow along here on YouTube, where I am going to post as much as I possibly can about this process. So here's my last tip, and I think this is a really, really important one, which is why I saved it for last. Start really thinking about your revenue streams. I know, we're paid search managers, but the fact of the matter is managing clients all day simply is not something that is scalable. I was there too. My friends and colleagues kept saying, you're just past managing paid search accounts all day. You could really do this or this or this. And I was like, okay, but good God, this is the only thing I've been good at. That is a limiting belief. You need to find something else that you're good at. You need to find, what do people compliment you on? What can you talk about all day? And offer that advice. I totally freeze up when I'm on camera. I really hope I can edit this. You need to sit down, make sure that you understand what it takes. What is different about you? Where do you add value? What skills do you have apart from running paid search campaigns? And how can you start building an alternate form of revenue that takes you apart and let you grow more than just running paid search campaigns? Are you going to turn around and educate people? Are you going to create classes? Are you going to build a community? Are you going to speak? There's so many options to help you grow as a consultant. You will see a lot of people in the paid search industry offering education. I do not think that this is a saturated area, and I do not think it's a saturated area because with education, it is very important to be able to hear and see different people saying the same thing in different ways, because every time you hear information, it helps you absorb it differently, especially when you're just starting out, and even for a professional. I have been doing this for 15 years now, and I can tell you that I still to this day will watch some beginning videos or buy some training that is pretty rudimentary, because of the fact that just listening to how someone else phrases it helps me when I talk to my clients and I'm trying to teach them some things that maybe I take for granted. If you are good at teaching, do not write off creating some type of Google Ads class, some type of Bing Ads class, and then adding your personal flair to information that's already out there. I definitely want to encourage you in this department.